Herbivore. Morning! How are we doing? My music's a bit too loud for me. I'm getting old, you see. Where should I go? Here? I'll go here. How are you doing, everyone? Nice to see you. Who's in the house? Stain is here, Robert Pacino, Angharad. Do you subscribe to Angharad? She's a delightful young YouTuber. She's relaxing with her mam. Yoshi fan is here, Erin Putko. Good evening from Melbourne. I love to come on early because I get lots of lovely Australian people. And as I've often said, Australia is my third largest following behind the UK and the US. I did a great interview with a lady in Australia yesterday, which I'll put up maybe tonight on my YouTube channel. Rebecca Stonor. She got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 6 years ago. And I think it's about 5.5 years or so. She's been symptom-free. She was in a really bad way, losing her eyesight and all sorts of things, like not being able to use her fingers properly. No, you wouldn't know she has it. And mostly, well, you know, down to lifestyle habits, let's say. So she's drug-free. Like, she came off her medications after about 6 months, I think. And they told her she'll be on them for life. But, yeah, drug-free, symptom-free, nutrition, exercise, meditation, you know, all the good things, no drugs. Very good. I can't wait to bring you guys that story. Richard Benham's here. Sarah Foy is here. Morning, you sexy bunch. What I say. Nice to see you, Robert. Stacey Langley's here as well. Good. Yoshi's doing well. Yeah, I'm really good. Had a lovely day yesterday with Gemma. It's Gemma's mum's birthday, so you're allowed 6 people together currently in the UK under the COVID sort of restrictions. You're allowed 6 people outside. So we had a little birthday party for her in our back garden. Gemma got these reusable, like sustainable party decorations. Itsy Bitsy Party Co, I think they're called. Really great decorations, but made from, like, you know, paper and cardboard and things. Yeah, so we did that. We had some of our family around and their partners. And then in the evening, there's a new vegan/vegetarian, it's mostly vegan though, hotel and restaurant opened up in Norwich. So we just headed down there. Just had we were so full we couldn't eat. We were so full from the day of partying. Hey, cowboy. So yeah, we just had some mint teas, but we got to chat with the owners. It's our friends who run the Namaste Village restaurant, and yeah, we just had a lovely time. Brilliant new business. Like, so vegans now travelling to Norwich. There's a hotel there. They'll do your breakfast and whatever, and it's all vegan. Are you okay, lovely? I'm just doing a live stream at the minute. Do you want to come up? Let me see if he'll come up. What do you want feeding? I've got ya. Here he is. Cowboy cat. He's good, isn't he? Love you, mate. Right. Timmy is in Perth. Yeah, another Australian. Eliza's here, formerly Purple Piplup. Grumpy Vegan Grandad. Subscribe to him. He's great on the YouTube. It's good to see you, brother. Jackie's here as well. Grumpy Vegan Grandad. Really loved the video with Dr. on gut microbiome. It's the most fascinating thing, and I think it's such a huge clue to, like, what is our species specific, like, preferred fuel source. You know, these gut bacteria, they're the key to our health. We need lots of Prevotella bacteria to be thriving. What do Prevotella eat? They're whole foods vegans. They eat soluble fibre, resistant starch and polyphenols. You don't get that in other foods. Well, I think you might get a bit of resistant starch in dairy, but that's only because the animals were eating plants. But with the dairy, of course, you're getting saturated fat and cholesterol. And And you're getting the proteins and fats that feed the pathogenic Bacteroides bacteria that you don't want a whole lot of in your colon there. So I think that really tells us something. Yeah, check that video out, guys, if you haven't already. That was Dr. Alan Desmond. He's a not an endocrinologist. What are the guys who tinker around with your bowels and that? Gastroenterologist, that's the phrase. Sarah Foy, how did you and Gemma meet? That's a great question. So I was a doorman on a new nightclub that opened, and she was working sort of on their reception there, like opposite me. And yeah, I won't tell you how it went down, but it was very cool. Big Matthias is in the house in South Africa. How are you doing, Big Matthias? Are you vegan there, or are you looking at veganism? How's the vegan scene there in South Africa where you are? Gomez is here, my lovely granny friend. I believe you said you were a grand. Don't shoot me if you didn't say that. Good to see you. Oh, that was a dangerous thing to say when I wasn't 100%. May you have a short stay, but a good... Oh, may have a short stay, but a good one. Hope all is well. Yeah, never happier. Thank you, Gomez. And how's things with you? Good to see you. Yoshi, have you seen that Frank Tufano is now selling Wi-Fi shielding clothing and accessories? Yeah, he even tried selling a mask for $81 and they reduced the price. Yeah, he's a boy, isn't he? He's very silly. Kaz Maras is in the house. Hey man, how are you doing? Where in the world are you, Kaz? How's the vegan scene there? How's veganism treating you if you are indeed a vegan person? If you're not, that's fine also. Timmy Thistle, do you think they'll ever find a cure for multiple sclerosis and ALS? Well, you know, technology really advances, doesn't it, all the time, so it wouldn't surprise me. We're learning more. I don't know very much about ALS, but multiple sclerosis, like you know, it is a multifactorial disease, but we're starting to learn things. We now realise that it seems to be autoimmune in it seems to be an autoimmune disease, which is something we didn't really realise before. And Rebecca, who I talked to, she says that she tries to keep her saturated fat below 10 grams a day, which really is, you know, you're not really going to be eating animal products there. You know, even in nuts and seeds is a bit of saturates. I don't think she eats a whole lot of fats really. Yeah, but she's got it totally into remission. She says, like, if she's really overdoes things, like she says her barometer is she'll get it's like a tingly feeling in her nose. That's like the only symptom now, and it's rare that that'll happen. But then she knows, oh, just take it easy for a day or two, and then she's absolutely fine. Farley, yeah, Cowboy is a vegan cat. She's been vegan for probably 7 years now. And the important thing with cats and vegan food is they need to be eating a complete vegan food. They are carnivorous by nature, but a complete vegan food is made from plants, but it is formulated scientifically for carnivores. It has the arachidonic acid, it has the taurine, it has like the DHA, it has all the stuff they need. But instead of getting it from meat, it's been gotten from plants. You know, meat, it's not that foods are essential, it's vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, amino acids, like these are essential. So yeah, she's thriving, really thriving. Gomez, just joking with my age, 56. Oh, you did make a joke out of it. That's okay then. Oh, I thought, why did I say that when I wasn't sure? That's a dangerous thing. Obviously, I can't see you, so that wasn't a critique on the way you look. What is your avatar there? I can't. It's so small on my screen. I can't quite make that out. Grumpy Vegan Granddad. My son starts uni in Norwich this year doing graphic design. Nice. I'm going to drop him off there. Maybe we can have a coffee and a vegan cake. I'll have a smoothie with you. I'll have a smoothie. Yeah, that would be cool. Jan Girl is in the house. How are you doing? Where in the world are you, Jan Girl? And how's the vegan scene where you are? Jackie, I've heard that eventually there will be bee-friendly certification on products once things improve with the bees. Is that true? I don't really know what that would entail. So my understanding is, apart from anything else, you know, bees have a drive. You know, they have, you know, by nature, they want to stockpile honey. That's their drive. And when we steal their honey, they work themselves so hard. I don't know, obviously there's different species, but one particular species, I don't know if it's a honeybee, but one species of bee lives for about 42 days on average. When you steal their honey, they live for 21 days. You basically work them to death and they have half their lifespan. So I can't see how that can ever be ethical. Do you know what I mean? Ooh. Big Matthias, I've been vegan for 6 months now. Nice. Veganism is super up and coming in South Africa. Nice. Because of the issue we have in our economy, we'll find that veganism is way more affordable as long as you don't eat the vegan imitation meats. Yeah, ain't that the truth? And, you know, they're horrible for our health anyway, so we don't want to be eating them. So, oh, that's great to hear. Very good. Reese is in the house. Good to see you. How are you? Yes, you found my honey thinks that honey is somehow ethical. When an animal is small, like an insect, like a lot of people think that they're kind of insignificant, but why are you basing like someone's significance on the size they are or their intellect or whatever random thing you want to assign to them? If they have the propensity to feel fear and pain, if they, you know, if by stealing that honey, like we're going to work them into the ground, like what right have we got to do that just because we're a bit bigger? Like that's, you know, that's bullying. Like, am I allowed to bully like meat eaters that are half my size? Would they be okay with that? Like, no, they wouldn't. Terrible. Reese, any tips for a vegan who's struggling to stop junk food binge eating? Yes. Get on the whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. Eat big meals until you're stuffed, until you can't eat anymore. And then leave it like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours. Whenever you finally get hungry, but don't wait till you're hungry to start cooking or to have something ready. Maybe some batch cooking. Have another big meal. But basically, like I eat so much healthy food that I don't get hungry in between times. If you let yourself get hungry, you'll get the ghrelin response and you'll be reminded of super palatable foods or hyper palatable foods. Like get rid of those high salt, high refined sugar, high oil, you know, like just processed nonsense food. Stick to real food. If you eat real food for like a couple of weeks or so, 2, 3, maybe 3 weeks, you reset your taste buds. You'll enjoy real food. You'll think that's the best food you've ever eaten. And if you don't let yourself get hungry, you'll never think to want it. If you are tempted to binge, it's probably because you've got too hungry, or you're limiting your calories too much. So if you're trying to lose weight, you just want to be in a slight caloric deficit, whereby you're losing no more than 1% of your total body weight each week, and in that way, you shouldn't get like a huge ghrelin response. So you should be able to stick to. That's been my, it's been my saving grace in terms of dieting. Like, I find it so easy to lose weight. You can eat all the food you care for and still lose weight, but it's the type of food, and it's the whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. Lovely herbs and spices on there to flavour it all up nice, so it's really enjoyable. You shouldn't be able to lose. It's when you get too hungry, it's when if you put in some junk food, now you've ruined your taste buds, you won't enjoy proper food, you'll be tempted by like rubbish, and you won't live as long, you won't feel as happy, and you'll likely be overweight. And so that's the key. To get anyone can eat whole plant foods for 2 or 3 weeks. Anyone. Do that. Don't let yourself get hungry. You'll nail it. But it just depends how important is it to you. That's the thing. Yoshi, do you and Gemma visit animal sanctuaries? Yeah. Not half as much as we'd like to, and certainly last year and so far this year has been a bit of a write-off. But I imagine we have one just down the road called Hillside. They have hundreds of different animals, all different kinds. They ought to be opening up soon. So, yeah, we'll be happy to be down there. Sometimes being an influencer, you get to sort of get in with the animal. So I got to hold a little a piglet. I say little, she wasn't that little, but I got to hold a piglet named Peach. She was really lovely. And yeah, any content you can do where you're hanging out with an animal, it does really well in the algorithm. So I would like to see more hang out with more animals and get to more sanctuaries. One of my friends has promised to take me to I guess it's kind of like a sanctuary. It's not really open to the public, but she works with people with learning difficulties, and they get to go there. And she said there's some like lambs at the minute that we can hang out with. So I'm hoping for some good content there and to meet some lambs. Timmy Thistle, is Barclay a fake scientist? He has to be, so he's so outrageously absurd. He is trained in like academia, but then he just twists things to his agenda. And to people who don't know anything, he uses some fancy words. He speaks with such certitude, but he is a complete bellend. Like, to be that wrong about nutrition, like, there's something not going on there in his brain, isn't there? Bless him. Thanks, Grumpy Vegan Grandad. Jangirl is in Melbourne. Nice. Considered the vegan capital of Australia. Now, when I spoke to Rebecca Stoner yesterday, she said that she thought Adelaide was the capital. So I'm getting mixed signals here. I don't know who to believe. We just want to be the capital. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, supposedly Norwich, where I live, is meant to be the vegan capital of the UK in terms of per capita restaurants and stuff. So I think that's something to be very proud of. Gomez, I did not look like a grandma, but when I'm in these conversations, I feel like everyone's grandma because I don't know any 56-year-olds. I used to have good looks by all the vegans. 80 years. Very good. I know what you mean. I feel like I'm a bit old for YouTube, really. All my subscribers in general are so much younger, or most of them. But that's all good. Yeah, I agree, Timmy Thistle. Jackie, I forgot to mention the bee thing was for pollinated plants. I don't get what you're saying there, Jackie. Friendly product. Oh, on products. Ah, right. So you're saying, once they improve. So the sort of contention is that some companies buy in bees and then they get hurt in transport, but they need them to pollinate their plants. Whereas, like hopefully naturally, you don't need to do that because there's already pollinators about. Yeah, I can't understand how, again, like they're going to be transporting them and, that is exploitation, isn't it? But then again, like you're giving them some food, so I don't know. It's not really my wheelhouse, to be honest, but that is very interesting. I've not heard about that. I'll keep my ears open and try and find out a bit more. Thank you. Jan, I've been attending an online plant-based seminar where they mentioned honey as being okay. Plant-based. Was that when they say plant-based, was that in terms of they were saying like they're not like looking at things from the point of view of ethics? But then if they meant whole plant foods, well, honey's not a plant food, so, and there's certainly not a whole food, it's just sugar. So either way, that is a very weird thing to say. Yeah, I agree. Gomez, people are purposely not educated about pollinators in general. It's very sad, but the chemical companies couldn't thrive if we knew the truth. The chemical companies of their drug. Yep. Stacey, hey Hench, I know ginger can help with nausea, but is there anything else that works just as well? For nausea, I don't know of anything. For sort of gut pains, peppermint works well, but nausea, Yeah, I wouldn't know on that one, I'm afraid. Timmy Thistle, what's your thoughts on monosodium glutamate? It's meant to be really horrible. Triggers like migraines, a lot of people like gut issues. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hugely clued up, but Dr. Gregor's done a few videos on nutritionfacts.org. But yeah, I mean, additives in general you want to avoid. We really just want to eat whole plant foods. But I've heard that MSG is a particularly naughty one. Grumpy Vegan, Grandad, I just watched a video on elephants painting. Nice. Then I searched the background of this phenomenon. Of course, they are trained. And yeah, that's the thing. They've used to perform this. So process control. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Well said, Anonymous Backstabber. That's a funny name. Big Matthias, do you possibly have some advice for getting large amounts of protein? Because I used to bodybuild heavily, but when I did, I was meeting you at the time. So personally, I eat a lot of whole plant foods. I get about 150 grams of protein just through my diet, emphasizing legumes and whole grains. But even, nuts and seeds are pretty good. Some vegetables are high in protein. Even fruits on average are 5% protein. So if you're eating like a large quantity of food, because obviously you need calories as well as like protein, and the non-protein calories are protein sparing. And then I just have a couple of servings of a more processed protein food on top. Typically like a couple of scoops of Vivo Life protein powder. Link below, 10% off, code HENCH10. But of late I've started to enjoy seitan. I eat tempeh, which isn't even technically it's made from whole foods and it's got nothing bad added. So that's really good. Tempeh or tofu's good because it's lower in fibre, so you can eat more of it if you struggle to get the volume in. Takes vegetable protein. I tend to swerve I completely swerve the mock meats because they have some like naughty oils added, like coconut oil and stuff like that. But protein powder, tofu, tempeh, seitan, TVP, other sort of soy protein sort of meat type substitutes, but not kind of the mock meats because they do have those bad oils typically. Yoshi, I think they feel that non-human animals are somehow less. They look a bit different, like they sound a bit different, but in the ways that matter. They have emotions. They seek love. They feel fear. They run from violence. They scream under the knife. In the ways that matter relative to being murdered, they're the same. They're the same as us. If you don't want it done to you, like, why are you doing it to someone else? Django, what is your opinion on VLCD? What is VLCD? My surgeon wanted me to try to shift away from... I don't know what that is. I'll do a quick Google search. Very low calorie diet plan. Stupid. Really stupid. You're just going to set yourself up for failure, basically. Before surgery. Yeah, you're setting yourself up to fail, and it's going to go wrong sooner or later. Yeah, you don't want to lose more than 1% of your total body weight each week. You really don't. So yeah, I would really advise against anyone. That's blown my mind. That's really ridiculous. I don't know any healthcare professional or nutritionist or just anyone with any credence who would say to do like a drastic. That's so stupid. It's dangerous advice, and it's doomed to fail. And now, like, you've got that like sort of sad face emoji, but you were doomed to fail. So you're perhaps feeling bad for something that's not your fault. Like you're ghrelin, like that you would have had this hormone go through the roof that forces you to eat. So yeah, that's horrible. That's really annoyed me. That they said that. Oh hi.
Good morning.
It's the hand of the voice from beyond.
Good morning, cowboy. Yes, good morning to you
Grumpy Vegan Grandad, I'm visiting pigs in the wood on Thursday where pigs live in a wood. That would make sense. That sounds very cool.
I want to go there.
Yeah, whereabouts is that? We want to go. Damn it. Plant-based parrot. I have learning difficulties. We all have, or there's not any of us that are not without some kind of issue. Do you know what I mean? It's the human experience, and yeah, that's bloody life, isn't it? But I think just try not to worry about these things. You know, like we're dealt the hand we're dealt, and you seem like an amazing person. I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't have said, and you seem like an amazing, kind person, and that's what counts in my book. So yeah, don't worry about that. Django, not sure about Adelaide, but it's going pretty much countrywide, so it's a winning. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Plant-based parrot, spelling and reading memory speech. I sometimes have a bit of an issue. I can get, you might not believe this, but I can get anxious because I was always phobic of like public speaking and broadcast, and I can get anxious, and if I get too anxious, if your heart rate goes up too much, your brain shuts down, and I'll forget what I'm saying mid-sentence, and I can potentially like freak out about it and have a sort of panic attack. And as far as I know, there's nothing physically like wrong, but I still suffer. But I just try my best, and yeah, just get on with it. Yeah, I hope you don't let it annoy you too much or make you sad. Did we decide that your name was Hi Pretty last time? I've forgotten now. I've been asleep since then. Hi Pretty, I think, says a good tummy tea is made by traditional medicinals belly comfort tea. Ah, belly comfort tea. Gem, do you know any good remedies for nausea, like natural ginger? Anything other than ginger was the question. Mint, you think? Oh, actually, something, yeah, you are right. Apparently, I believe charcoal and mint together. Charcoal and mint, that's meant to work. I've not thought of that in probably decades, I think. That's from my combat and survival days. I used to get this magazine when I was like 15 or something. No, younger than that, when I first started high school. Yeah. Some Bear Grylls type stuff. Janko, I love tempeh cooked in the air fryer. Same. What's your favourite recipe? We like to do a tempeh bacon. Jackie recently tried pumpernickel bread. It was interesting. Yeah, I believe I've had that. Not for a long while. I don't know what short sexually confused means, but that sounds very interesting. And what else did you say? Addicted to substance? Yeah, and again, I think we've chat. Did we chat before about all this? But you know, I've been through it. It's so common. Like we are set up as a species, or you know, animals in general, seek pleasure, avoid pain, expend the least energy possible. Some of these substances like just instantly erase your pain, don't they? So you're going to be drawn to it. It's hard to say no, and I've been through it. I'm happy to say I've been out the other side of it for a lot of years now. But it can happen to absolutely anyone. It really can. Whoosh. Oh, you're welcome, Big Matthias. Whoosh01. Thoughts on stevia? So apparently a little bit of it seems to be okay, but it's kind of dose dependent. And I do believe it's meant to be in a large enough dose a mutagen. It can damage your DNA, which I think potentially could cause like cancer. I saw a thing recently somewhere that there is some science to suggest it may cause brain fog. So it's one to at least severely limit. We used to think it was healthful, but there's at least a couple of ways now where we believe it may well not be. And so I have a little. There's some in my protein supplement that I use once or twice a day. There's some in my sugar-free baked beans that I often eat, probably more often than not for breakfast, to be honest. So not the best. I ought to stop that, really. I should make my own kind of beans from scratch, but you can't do all the things, can you? Don Soy Boy is in the house. Good morning to you. How's things? Yoshi fan, do you think Gordon Ramsay is an idiot for being anti-vegan? Why, yes, I do. The same as I think anyone. I mean, I sort of get it. When you get your odd sort of OTT vegan who's quite aggressive, you know, then people think, oh, well, that's what vegans are like. They kind of blanket, sort of stereotype us, you know, which isn't so great. But, yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say on that. Django, sorry for making you angry. Did you make me angry? I've forgotten what that was about now. What were we talking about? Oh, no, you didn't make me angry. Oh, the excessive fat loss. Yeah. No, you didn't make me angry. I'm just angry at thinking that medical professionals are still offering that sort of advice. Like, that's so dangerous. On a lighter note, my partner thinks I'm watching Jeremy Clarkson. I didn't know I sounded like Jeremy Clarkson. Oh, I got that right. Thank you. Hi, pretty. Zach Cyberdamon. I did my first swim session today and was super worn out despite being in the slow lane with all the old ladies. What's the best vegan food post-workout that isn't a thick green smoothie? To be honest, like, all of my meals are basically some legumes, some whole grains, a good amount of veg, some fruit, and little nuts and seeds. And yeah, that's the best food pre-workout. It's the best food post-workout. It's the best food if you want to be healthy. It's the best food for breakfast. It's the best food for lunch. It's the best food for dinner. Just try to get the range of whole plant foods, and however you have them, you know, be it a sandwich or a wrap or a bagel or a pita bread or like a rice dish, like a curry, a chili, a stew, you know, a Buddha bowl, just whatever. As long as you're getting those foods in you, most meals, try to get at least one legume, a whole grain, a range of fruits, or a range of vegetables, definitely, 1 or 2 or 3 fruits. Like I say, a little bit of nuts and seeds and herbs and spices. Mix them all up. The more variety you can get, the better your health potential is going to be, because you're better feeding the gut microbiome. But yeah, what the actual meals look like isn't so important. The main thing is that you're getting those. How many food groups is that? Is that 8? Legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. Yeah, 8 basically food groups there. The tea does have pepper in it. Yeah, there we go. I knew something. Whoosh, putting a pinch of salt on your tongue is good for nausea. Is it now? I've never heard that. Stacey, I'll look into the nausea. Thanks. These migraines have been making me feel sick. Yeah. I think you probably know, they've come back of late. I can get the aura where you get all the jagged lines, whatever, like a blind spot, jagged lines, and then I can't see for like 10 to 30 minutes. And then ideally I need an hour in darkness, and then I'm fine. And it's like I very rarely have any sort of a headache, so I'm lucky in that respect. But it's just annoying because it can come on at any second. So I'm sort of loath to do sort of live stuff. It's not so bad on here because I'm not letting anyone else down. But if I had to go, like if I'm in the middle of an interview or something on someone else's channel, I sort of don't want to do that to them. So that's really frustrating. Have you tried all the different things, Stacey? So basically over the last year or so, I've just tried eliminating so many different things and they didn't work for me. Well, actually, currently, there's one more food which I didn't know about that can trigger migraines, apparently, and that's corn. And before I had my last aura, I had eaten corn about 2 hours before. So I've taken that out now. So hopefully that might be a thing for me potentially. But yeah, there's a lot of different foods. Some are individual foods. Let me try and think what it is. Caffeinated stuff. If I have a lot of caffeine, that definitely gives me a migraine. So I've knocked that pretty much on the head. So you don't want caffeine. Chocolate can trigger migraines. Obviously red wine. Aged cheeses and meat and all that sort of stuff. You know, obviously you're not going to be eating that. But there's certain vegan foods. Bananas or tropical fruits in general for some people. Dried fruits in general for some people. There's a compound, I forget what it's called. I think it's an amino acid. I think it begins with T. But that's the one that's in the meats and cheeses. And it's also in nuts and stuff. So nuts can be a trigger. Citric acid. Not citric acid in fruit, but citric acid that is added to processed foods. Because that actually generally comes from a mushroom. And there's something about the way they harvest that or make it. Or I don't know. But according to PCRM... citric acid in processed foods is a migraine trigger for a lot of people. What else are some? I've tried so many things. Tried so many different. If you really just look up. I think I might have taken a screenshot from PCRM, so I might be able to tell you one or two more. Let me just have a quick look. See. So many images on there. That was going to take a minute. Okay, so dairy, chocolate, eggs, citrus fruits for some people. Now, a while back, I did go really mental one day on lemon and lime juice. I was drinking tons of this stuff, and I did have a migraine that day. Wheat for some people, tomatoes for some people, onions for some people. And as I say, corn. Corn is the last thing that I've tried to eliminate, so I'm trying that now. What else? For me, microdosing with certain, I'm not going to go deep into that now because I can't be bothered with the disclaimers, but if you look up microdosing, it's not for everyone because it depends on the compounds and, you know, how you might be affected by them. But microdosing can help. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of at the minute. But it's worth just, so particularly these elimination things. Apparently, a lot of it can be that you've got a kind of an allergy or something to a particular food or a food group. So yeah, I hope some of that might help. Oh, and have you tried CBD? I mean, it didn't work for me in terms of the migraine auras, but maybe that's why I don't get headaches. But anyway, link below for 30% off that if you want to try that out. That's so great against inflammation. Oh, one last thing, Stacey. One last thing is I heard about the herb feverfew. All one word. I got some from Glastonbury. Indigo. What are they called? Indigo herbs, I think they're called. Indigo something. They're in Glastonbury. But feverfew supposedly cuts down the frequency and severity of migraines for a lot of people. I will warn you, it tastes absolutely foul. I thought amla powder tasted ming, and this is like about 5 times worse. I'm not exaggerating. I want to say 10 times, but that would be an exaggeration. But it's probably 5 times worse than amla. It's so grim. You can't disguise it either. I basically do a shot of it, and then I have my smoothie ready to... But after for about 5 or 10 seconds, you can taste it. It's horrible. But if it means I don't get these aura attacks and I can live my life without worrying about them, that would be great. Stacey, I've had them for 12 years now. Constantly researching migraines. Doing a lot of things. They were easing, but come back to work and they're back big time. It can. It seems to be like that with me. They sort of come in clusters, fits and starts, and then I don't have them for a while. If it's come back because you're at work, is there anything about work? Like, were you stressed? Apparently stress is a big trigger for migraines. Or is it to do with the lighting or the amount of screen time you're getting? Are those a trigger? That might be worth thinking about. But yeah, it's sort of What do you call that when we don't have really like the reason down? Idiopathic, is that the word? Or am I confusing that with something else? Yeah, idiopathic. Any disease that is of uncertain origin that may be termed idiopathic. I knew something. Yeah, Soy Boy. I'm 80 days without nicotine. That is huge. Let's have a round of applause for Don Soy Boy, please. There is one benefit to nicotine, and it helps to mitigate Parkinson's symptoms. But of course, you know, lung cancer is probably, I mean, Parkinson's is not nice. Lung cancer obviously is extremely horrible. So what I would say, you can get the benefits of nicotine by eating tomatoes, white potatoes, sorrel, chili peppers, gooseberries, yeah, peppers in general, aubergine. Nightshades, basically. Nicotine is a nightshade, and nightshades have a compound which mitigates Parkinson's symptoms. So you get lots of nightshade foods in, unless you're one of the 1 in 20 people who has an intolerance to nightshades, in which case you do not want to do that. Yeah, I thought we did plant-based, Howard. Sarah Foy, what upper body muscle group would you suggest to work out together and why? I have 2 days a week to do upper body at the gym. I have different opinions. Oh, so how would I split it? And you're in the gym 2 days. If you're only in 2 days, and if you can split them, I would do your upper body as a whole, and I'd concentrate on the compound lifts. So presses, chest and shoulder presses, or dips. Pull-ups, pull-downs, rows. I would sort of make those the bedrock, and then potentially add in some accessories as well if you want to, like a little shoulders or arms. But I mean, you know, what I mean is isolation stuff, like so chest flies, you know, lateral raises, bent over laterals. Probably you don't want to work too hard on chest for a female. Yeah, I think for most people, like twice a week frequency. So I'd probably do like a press or a dip, a row, be it close or wide, a shoulder press, a wide or a close grip pull down or a pull up, and then maybe a little isolation work, side laterals, rear delt flies, little tries, little buys. Yeah, I do something like that. But the big compound lifts are really the main ones. Cody from New Zealand. Good to see you, my friend. Love your videos. What are your thoughts on creatine? It's about the most effective legal supplement there is. I don't rate many supplements at all, but creatine, for about 70% of people, 30% of people it doesn't work for, they're non-responders. But for around 70% of people, it increases your size, strength, power output, endurance, cognitive function. I never got on with it. I thought I was one of the non-responders, but then I used Vivo Life's one, and it's a monohydrate, but it's micronized, so it's easier to absorb. And I did actually finally see a bump up in my weight, which is indicative of, okay, your muscles are filling out with the water, like they're volumized, which is partly what creatine does. So yeah, it does seem to work for me, but it has to be micronized. Plant-based powered. I wasted half my life with substance. I got addictive, obsessive personality. I'm a lot like that. And instead of being I used to party for 3 days solid without going to bed, and just be drinking and just want to have a mad time and be the center of attention and just going crazy. And now I just realized, wow, I've got away with this so far, but sooner or later my body's going to break down, and I was killing myself. And I went the other way. I went totally into fitness and healthy nutrition, healthy lifestyle, you know, taking care of my sleep, meditating, cold showers, breath work, you know, I've gone really mad the other way, but not to the point where I'm overdoing things. I've got balance, because I know in order to do well, you need balance. You need to train hard, but short. Then you need to have good rest. You need to sleep. You need to meditate. You need to get your nutrition. And now I'm addicted to feeling super well all the time without substances. And if I was to have, you know, some negative substance, I will feel so horrible, and I will just think, why did I do that? And so I just don't want to. And I'm so happy with my life. You know, I've got my life to a point where I don't want to escape it, because I'm living my purpose. You know, I'm helping people, I'm helping the planet, I'm helping animals, and I'm feeling amazing because I'm practicing what I preach. And that's what we need to do. We need to find our passion and to help others. Oh, I know we talked about this the last time, I remember, so I won't keep banging on about it, but I hope you find your passion, and I hope you find a way to be of service, and I hope you get loads of growth from it and you fall in love and get addicted to that. Oh, and thanks for the compliment, Cody. I don't know if I noticed that. I should say thank you. D. Zordine, lectin in plants. So there's no E on lectin, or it's actually lectins. They're a group of compounds. And yeah, there's lectins in plants. Some can potentially kill you, but typically like those ones are in things like beans, and they're only really active if they're raw. Cooked beans, the more beans you eat, like the one thing that the most, if you look at all the populations in the world with the most centenarians, like the so-called blue zones, they all have one thing in common, and that's that they eat the most legumes, and they live the longest. So if lectins in beans were a problem, they would be living the shortest, surely. They certainly wouldn't be living the longest. So yeah, it's easy to do reductionist science and think, oh, there's a compound there that's not so good. You know, that will kill you, like Dr. Stephen Gundry did. But it's complete BS. If you look at if you snap back and look at the bigger picture and actually the outcomes, these people are living the longest. Certain lectins are actually really health promoting, like anti-cancer. But the dangerous ones, yeah, they're killed by cooking. People one time injured themselves in Japan because someone stupidly said that you should powder like red kidney beans, like dried red kidney beans. And yeah, a lot of people got super sick. But how many people do you know who eat like hard beet? You can't even eat them, you know, unless you powder them. And gastronomically, that doesn't sound like the most exciting thing, does it? No, lectins, in plants are not an issue. And yeah, the plants with the most lectins, like beans, like some grains, the more you eat of them, the longer you tend to live. Where was I? Don, I'm going to have some lentil shepherd's pie. We call that shepherdless pie. It's in our protein book, actually. Yeah, that's great. Yoshi, yeah, family hospital, food quality is not great. Yeah, they don't have the first clue. It's amazing. Plant-based powered. Am I still playing Valhalla? Not for a while. I think I'm too enthused to make videos and things, and I don't know. I've been finding it a bit boring lately. I hate to say it because I love the idea and I love it, but it's not gripping me. It's not. I think it's not meeting enough of my needs. But whereas when I do YouTube, it's ticking all my boxes. Yeah. Hi, Laura Griffiths. Good to see you. Yoshi fan, do you believe buying organic produce is better or just unnecessary? It's certainly going to be better. It'll have a lot more polyphenols because it will be producing its own kind of insecticides, which sounds like a bad thing, but actually a lot of these compounds, like sulforaphane in humans, really protective, like really like anti-cancer. And do you believe we need GMO crops? I guess when you say need them, you mean in terms of feeding everyone. And I think no, if all the land we use to feed animals, if we use that to feed humans, I mean, we need a fraction of it for a start. So, we don't need GM. And we don't know. We don't know. When you change part of the DNA sequence, we think we're doing one thing to the plant, but we actually found out we're changing several things at once, and we don't know what the upshot of that is going to be. So, I wouldn't eat GM unless I could help it. But I don't believe that the science is there to say it is definitely like really bad. So do with that what you will. But yeah, organic is going to be better. There's not a lot of data like head to head between organic and conventional. There's a little bit, sadly funded by conventional produce. So obviously there's likely to be there's a potential for bias. They reckoned it wasn't a whole lot different, but I think it will be. But that said, we don't have access to a lot of organic. We don't have a load of spare money at the minute, and we do buy conventional, and I don't let it worry me. Plant-based powered, what is that tattoo on your finger? That is an X, sadly. I need to get that lasered off. I don't know what I was thinking there. Right, I've spoken to that. Morning, Kevin. How are you doing? Acacia. No questions. I just wanted to thank you for your time and commitment to helping people. Thank you. That's really kind. I really appreciate it. And your followers DT. Namaste, my friend. Thank you so much. You're lovely. Django, which is better for CBD, oil or spray? I think it's an irrelevance. Yeah, because it's just going to sit under the tongue anyway. So however you deliver it there, it's just sitting there. So yeah, either way. I like the tincture because this one is 30%. They do up to a 50% as well. So super concentrated. So therefore, the oil is minimal anyway, but you need so little of it. Obviously, you then need less. So, Laura, maca doesn't taste great either, but nothing like tasting your stuff. Sorry, like the stuff you're talking about. I actually, and a sick face. I actually love the taste of maca. Maybe I'm weird. I think it tastes like a sort of burnt caramel. Yeah, I actually like it. But I might be weird. Kev, Hench, if you play Valhalla, come to Vegan Community Discord server. Lots of vegans playing Valhalla here. Interesting. I've never played it so. Oh, I see what you're saying. I just wondered if it was like a MMO sort of version, but there's not. I see what you're saying. Just hang out. Yeah. Vegan Discord server, great people, great chat, great sharing. To be honest, I don't really have time to hang about and chill out very much. I'm so busy making content, but thanks for your kind idea. Yeah, Stacey, stress definitely makes them worse. I do a lot of heavy lifting at work, which helps. Okay, so yeah, there can be like an exercise component as well. That's annoying, isn't it? So I must imagine that there's a pot. Well, I don't know. I'm just sort of guessing, but yeah, is there a blood pressure element? Is it as your sort of blood pressure goes up because you're stressed or you're exerting yourself? Is that because that can be a trigger, can't it? So. I imagine you've looked at all this over the years. So sorry, I'm not trying to say like you're daft or not thought of that, but yeah, I just wonder if you happen to have not, what's your blood pressure? Can you work to try and sort of lower that? But yeah, maybe you're already doing all the things, in terms of nutrition and stuff. What else might be good? Hibiscus tea is really great for keeping your blood pressure lower. Yeah, that's one thing. Kevin, why have nicotine when you can have distilled THC against Parkinson's? I don't think I don't know whether THC may help as well, but it's the fact that nicotine is a nightshade, so it's the nightshade compounds which I was talking about anyway, which are protective. Yoshi fan, I really do wish there was more cohesion with the nutrition advice that's given to people. It's just a mess, and honestly I believe people generally should be more educated. Yeah, particularly like doctors and people, you know, they get so little, and the bit they do get is stuff like, oh, eat some vitamin C stuff or you'll get scurvy. Real basic, like irrelevant stuff. How you get scurvy these days? Oh, distillate. I've not heard that word before. That's interesting. Oh, blinking heck. Have we done our hour already? Yeah. That scene when I had such good fun. And Mooncat's just pitched up. Do subscribe to Vegan Mooncat. He's great on the tubes. And my good friend Thick Vegan is there. She's amazing. How are you, Jess? I hope you're good. Yeah, I better go, guys, because I need to get a video up and then shoot some. I've got one to edit, and then I've got a load of reels to shoot today. But I've really enjoyed hanging out with you. That stream went so quick. Thanks, moderators, guarding us against those trolls. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. GMT, me and Gemma. So hope to see you there. If you're new, we'd love you to become part of this wonderful community. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow evening. Have a lovely rest of your weekend.